بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. صدق الله العظيم. Allah most glorious and high has said, O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed for you as it was prescribed upon those before you, in order that you may gain taqwa. My brothers in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created our father Adam alayhi salam by his hands in a way which he knows best, but formed him according to the best of forms and fashioned him out of clay, and then breathed into him of his spirit. فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. As he commanded the angels, that once I have formed him and breathed into him of my spirit, the ruh, which is a secret from Allah, وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. After I have breathed into him of my spirit, then fall down prostrate to him. So since then, as the children of Adam, we are composed of both body and spirit. We are composed of a physical form, which is the form of clay, and the spiritual form, which is that one which aspires to the heavens, aspires to the stations of the angels, rather than our physical form, which is dwelling on this earth, as the animals do, and eating and sustaining itself as the animals do. But the spirit within us is always longing for the hereafter, is always longing for purification and for perfection. And our body is not complete without its spirit or its soul. And when the soul is taken out from the body, when the ruh escapes from the body or is removed at the time of death, then the body is left as an empty vessel. What is the relationship between the body and the soul? This is something which again is of the mysteries and secrets of Allah. And one can search and search as he wishes. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. They ask you concerning the soul, the spirit. Say, it is from the command of my Lord, or from the affair of my Lord, and you have been given but a little knowledge. But, as we say, the body is incomplete without the soul. And it is lifeless without the soul, without the spirit. Likewise, my brothers, any action that we do, it has a body and it has a spirit. Our worship, our prayers, our fasting, our zakah, our hajj, all of the acts of worship that we do have a body and they have a spirit. If they do not have these two components, then they can never exist. They can never be sustained. They can never have value. Something which has a body and no spirit is lifeless. It is dead. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, commencing the verses which talk about the month of fasting, the month of Ramadan, which is now only a matter of days away, He has said, O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed for you as it was upon those before you. Why? In order that you may gain taqwa. And it is not in every case that Allah Azza wa Jal spells out for us the reason and the wisdom, or if you like, the spirit involved in an act of worship. But this is one of those cases. In order that you may gain taqwa. And taqwa, as the Prophet ﷺ has said, resides here in the heart. At-taqwa ha huna. Taqwa is a quality which resides in the heart. It is something which involves consciousness, awareness of Allah, fear of Allah, and hope in Allah. So when we are fasting, we are doing it for a purpose, for a goal, in order to achieve something. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the best means and tool or vehicle to reach that destination, to reach that goal. He's given us a method of purification. So when we are fasting, we are not going to be concerned only with the body. Yes, it is important for us to know the rules and regulations of the fasting of Ramadan. To know those things which are prohibited to us from the time of dawn, from Al-Fajr until Al-Maghrib. To know those things that we must abstain from. Any food, any drink and nourishment, any marital intimacy during that time, and other things which also break the fast, like smoking. Sometimes people are not aware. We need to know about what to avoid, what the timings are. How do we make sure that we are observing the rules and the outer regulations of the fasting? If there are any courses being offered, if there are any classes being offered, then you should jump at the chance to learn these rulings, because they are important to maintain the body of the fast, just as we have to look after our physical bodies, as well as our spirit and our soul. But beyond that, we have to think about the spirit of Ramadan. The first thing that we mean by the spirit is the intention. Because the action of fasting will not be full of spirit unless we have the purest intention. First of all, to please Allah, to seek His pleasure, to obey Him as He has commanded us to fast. This is the main intention that we have. But with that, we are intending to rectify our behavior. We are intending to purify our character. We are intending to draw closer to Allah. We are intending to renew and refresh our relationship with the Quran. We are intending to build this community of brotherhood and sisterhood by reconnecting with the mosque and reconnecting with our prayers, reconnecting with the congregation, by supporting one another, by advising one another, by learning more about our deen, by reminding one another of the basics of our deen. These are among the things that we have to do. Along with that, we are intending and making that resolution now about leaving aside our bad deeds, our sins, our bad habits, those things which are holding us back from allowing our spirit to fly with the angels, those things that are preventing us from becoming better human beings, those things that are damaging our relationship with Allah, with His Messenger, with the Quran, the sins that we are doing openly, the sins that we are doing privately. This is the time to make the resolution to root these things out with the blessings of the days and nights of Ramadan. The other thing that we mean by the spirit of Ramadan is the purpose. When we know that the purpose is to gain taqwa, it means that we are going to accept this gift from Allah, that He has given us a means by which we go without some things which are normally halal, and they become haram for us during the day, in order that we may gain patience, we may gain willpower, steadfastness, to go without those things which are haram, those things which are always harmful to us, that we can delay our desires, that we can control our desires. We are not able as human beings to do without things like hunger, things like the sexual desire. These are things which have been created within us for a reason. If we were never hungry, then we would not eat. And if we don't eat, then we will die. If we did not have those other desires, we would not procreate, we would not have children, and the human race would not continue. But what we need is to control these desires, to guide them, to tame them, to direct them to what is halal and keep them away from what is haram. So if we should avoid the spirit of Ramadan by, for example, overeating. A common problem in Ramadan is that people eat more in the month of Ramadan than they eat outside of Ramadan. And this is the reality, I think we all know it. How is it that at the time of iftar, people eat as much, if not more, than they would have eaten during the day? And actually, it has become completely common that we actually have these huge feasts for iftar, which is 30 days of large special meals, which we would not have done in any other month of the year. This is against the spirit of Ramadan. I'm not saying this in order to say a person becomes sinful because of that. I'm saying this because you will lose the effect of going without, the effect of feeling a little bit of hunger, a little bit of thirst, a little bit of weakness, while making sure that you maintain your health, especially in these long days of fasting. So we need to be smart about what we eat at suhoor and what we eat at iftar, in order that we can sustain ourselves and that we're also able to do all the extra ibadah that we want to do in the nighttime and in the daytime. And the other thing, the final point to mention against the spirit of Ramadan, is to spoil our fasting by doing sins, such as the sins of gossiping, lying, backbiting. And these are the sort of thing where it was narrated in the hadith that there are some people who will fast, but they gain nothing from the fast except hunger and thirst. And the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said that whoever does not give up false speech and backbiting, then Allah is not in any need of him to give up food and drink. Meaning that Allah is not in need of your fasting in any case. It is a gift which He has bestowed upon us in the most blessed of months, so that we can gain taqwa, so that we can better ourselves, so that we can achieve success in this life and the hereafter. So may Allah grant us the Ramadan, may He take us to Ramadan and through Ramadan and make us better people. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
I wonder if I've been good today. Didn't hurt nobody, so why am I afraid to pass away? Strange thought I had as I have faith there is somewhere. And I love Allah. Someday a spark that fire, I'm a star